Monday, October 9th, 2023. Today on the Daily Review, we discuss yet another Sidney Pollack movie, yet another Nicole Kidman movie. Ooh boy, that's right. It's the mostly forgotten The Interpreter from 2005. With your host, me, Professor Joe LaRocca. This is on Netflix. I'd always been meaning to see this movie, but I feel like there was another movie around this time period that had a similar name that maybe had Russell Crowe in it or something, and I just kind of put them all together in the same basket and never bothered watching them. I don't know why. This is again Sidney Pollack. It's got a 70s paranoia vibe, like because I recently did, if you're not a, if you don't keep up with the channel, I recently did The Firm, which I didn't even realize was Sidney Pollack. In fact, I didn't even realize this was Sidney Pollack until I started watching it. And it must have suggested it because I watched Margot at the Wedding yesterday. But it is the story of Nicole Kidman, who is an interpreter for the UN, who is from a fake African, kind of like it's like South Africa, basically, sort of, and that's important though. And one night she goes back to the office and overhears a potential assassination attempt from the country that she used to be from, about that person's leader. And a Secret Service agent and trouble with his wife character, what's his name? Tobin Keller, Sean Penn, in a very kind of nice, toned down, subtle, like not overly earnest role. Sometimes he has roles where he's like, bleh. It's not like that. It's not super serious. It's good. Um, it's believable as well too. Uh, sort of, I guess, sort of. He's put in charge of investigating her, and she's potentially in danger because if she did hear about an assassination attempt, then maybe people are going to try and take her out, and then maybe the Secret Service is going to like use her as bait because they don't know if she's lying or not because she kind of has a sketchy past. It's exactly again another movie that I was talking about, like The Firm, that I don't feel like we get many of now, or if we do, they're not particularly high quality, which is like a smart, mature thriller where some of the plot, like it's never overly confusing, but the way things tie together is very enjoyable to watch because it's not so easy to predict from a screenwriting level. You know what I mean? Because that, nah, main, say like a smart thing and then just go, main. Um, it's my new thing. Sorry. Know what I mean? Um, um, so yeah, I don't really have to. I mean, there's like this interrogation scene, not interrogation. What's that called? Lie detector machine scene where it's just like these mature editing and like, oh, she's in the background in a window and and he's talking to the head of security and then it's like, some deep focus photography which we don't see much in modern filmmaking. Uh, I just like think that Sidney Pollack is just like one of the best because he's kind of a journeyman director. He can kind of do whatever, uh, and he just kind of does exactly what is needed for the scene. Like George Miller. Is it similar to George Miller, where it's like, oh, if you give him an action movie, he's gonna make like the most use all the filmmaking tools and visual tools to make it the best type of action movie. And if he's making a talking pig movie, he's going to make it use all the technology, all the little things to make it the most believable and heartwarming talking pig story ever. I mean, I think it's better than Charlotte's Web, right? That's like a Pepsi and Coke thing. Charlotte's Web versus Babe. And then the only thing I remember about Babe Pig in the City is that like some of the animals eat mushrooms and trip. Or is that the movie The Bear? Or is it both of them? It is definitely the movie The Bear as well. Not the show The Bear. There's a French Canadian film called The Bear that's nearly silent, and it's about a hunter hunting a bear and a baby bear. and it's remarkable. I saw it when I was that's probably the first like kind of artsy movie I saw. I saw it when I was like 7 or 8, and I was like, "What the?" Because I had seen Milo and Otis, and it was like on after Milo and Otis, and I was like, it was like some animal thing, and, Milo and Otis is cute until you know the behind the scenes where they were just like killing cats and dogs left and like, throwing cats across the room. Um, okay, anyway, sorry. Back to this movie. Uh, yeah, it's really mature. I actually don't think the opening is very strong, because it's trying to do a more modern opening, and that is not work. It's a slow bit. It's what it should be. It should be a slow build, um, because the pacing of this movie as a whole is up. And you know what? And the ending isn't even awesome, but it's one of those rare movies that has an amazing second act. You know how hard it is to have a great second act and not have a very good beginning or end? It's a real achievement. And a lot of this is on the shoulders of Nicole Kidman. She is remarkable. She's doing the accent. She's speaking all these different languages. She is beautiful and not, but yeah, yeah, it's a very attractive role. Um, it's good, and it's just mysterious enough. The way she has her hair like covering her face, you're like, oh, is this gonna be a judo move? Anyway, you want to see the dogs real quick? I know I hardly talked about the movie, but it's good. Sidney Pollack is in it as an actor, just as a cameo, basically, and he's so good. Hey, you want to see people? How you doing? You warm? Your head's very warm. You like it when I rub your head? Ooh, ooh, ooh. We gonna go on a walk soon? Yeah? You just chilling though in the sun for a little bit? Did you hear that? That's the sound he makes when he's like, I'm gonna let out. And then Lucia, how you doing? Lucia doesn't like to be touched, but I'll touch her a little bit. Hey, buddy. You alright? You're on the internet. That's a good dog. She's not feeling great. You alright, buddy? I love you, buddy. She's doing all right. She's doing all right. She has what's called old dogs get. It's called Cushing's disease, and it like messes with your muscles. And I don't even fully know what it is, but she's on medication, and it makes her kind of like not stable on her feet. It's a bummer. But she's a tough dog. She had back cancer like 5 years ago. She's been through a lot. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. That wasn't 5 years ago. That was only 3 years ago. Like it's anyway, yeah, this movie's really cool. I actually, despite kind of a mediocre beginning and end, I do recommend it, especially if you're in the mood for like, um, like a mature thriller. And it's just weird. I randomly said, "Hey," and then all of a sudden they started like popping up, or maybe I was subconsciously seeking them out because I don't know. I just this It's just a cool subgenre, like political, like. But then I like it also too when there's like a romance. The romance in this is not it's not like silly. I mean, it's a little bit silly. It's a little bit silly. It's not as silly as like In the Line of Fire, that romance, where he's like, I bet that pigeon will take off before that white pigeon does. And she's like, I'm 30 years younger than you. And he's like, eh. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace. Just checking with the dogs before I leave. Okay. 9 minutes. Talked about the movie for 3 of those. Sidney Pollack forever, though.